Welcome along, guys. Well, today is an exciting day. Today is my first ride on the new Aprilia RS660, and just look at it. It looks amazing, absolutely fantastic. I've been very lucky because Wheels Motorcycles, links below, have very kindly lent me not only this brand new RS660 but also the new Tuono 660. So I've been doing a selection of videos comparing these bikes. I've already done a first ride on the Tuono, link above, but this is my first ride on the RS660, and just riding here, I'm loving it. But I don't want to give too much away just yet. Get yourself a cuppa, make yourself comfortable, because now we're going to be riding the fantastic, giving it away, RS660. Chop Z, roll the intro. Look at it. It looks $1 million. What I like about this bike is it doesn't look like a budget middleweight sort of sports bike. Well, it isn't really a budget middleweight sports bike because it costs £10,500, but it just looks amazing. I really like this colour scheme. This purple is just lovely in the flesh. This red really pops. It's really good. Already I'm loving it. But let's just jump on it. Let's jump on it and find out what it's like to actually ride, shall we? What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to be doing a direct comparison video between this and the Tuono 660. So in this videos, I'm going to try and avoid drawing too many comparisons between the bikes. If you want to know how this compares directly to the Tuono version, you're going to have to wait for that video. But this is really all about what this is like to ride on its own as a first ride. Now, this bike is brand new. It's got about 40 miles on the clock, so I have to be a little bit careful. I can't give it the full spanking until it's got a few more miles on, but I'm hoping I can get a few on it today so we can start to open her up. But first of all, let's power her up. Firing it up. Sounds very much like the Tuono. Stop it, Chops. You're not meant to be comparing it to the Tuono. Quick shifter and a blipper come as standard on this machine. Let's try the blipper. Very nice. Quick shifter. Really nice quick shifter, really smooth. The ergos on this, you know, this is first of all, this isn't a Supersport 600. It isn't, you know, this is more of a comfortable position. The bars are what I'd call midway, so they're not full on down on a Supersport, they're not right up on a naked, they're sort of slightly down. The clip-ons are above the yokes is the important thing. So even though this is a sports bike, it is exceptionally comfortable. Out of the way. He might come past me in a minute. So it's not too exaggerated on the position, and I really like the position. I find this sort of middle of the road position absolutely perfect. It's got all the benefits of feel from the front wheel and feedback as a full-on Supersport, but a little bit more comfortable because you're up a couple of inches at the front. So so you've got a bit of weight on your wrist, but not too much. Your legs are tucked up a little bit on this, but it's not as bad as, say, the Fireblade or something like that. It's all very comfortable. There's the high beam again. For a sports bike. Power figures is 100 horsepower from this engine. 100 horsepower and I think 67 newton meters of torque, which, you know, is down probably 15-20 horsepower on like proper Supersport 600s. But Supersport 600s, first of all, you can't buy them anymore. Not in the UK, nobody sells a Supersport 600. The ZX6R died this year because it couldn't make Euro 5. So no, you can't buy a Supersport 600 brand new anymore. But Supersport 600s, they may make the extra bit of power, but they lack torque. And this is where this 100 horsepower 660cc engine delivers. It's got lovely bottom end grunt. And, you know, for a road bike, that is what you want. what Aprilia say is this is half of the RS660 engine, so it's a parallel twin, half the front cylinders of the RS660, but obviously slightly different capacity, because half of 1100 would be 550. This is 650. So they've adjusted the stroke, or they've changed the bore size. I'm not sure which. Remember, Chop's going to be running this in. But this eggs you on. This has all the fun and engagement as what the RS660 has. I don't feel like I'm on a middleweight here, you know. I feel like this is as much fun as what a full-on, full-fat RS660 1100 would be. And this bike is really exciting me. I mean, I've ridden like the CBR 650R. That bike left me wanting more, you know. I was a bit disappointed with that machine. You know, I thought it was going to be a Supersport. It wasn't a Supersport, and you could really tell it wasn't a Supersport. At the moment, you know, this feels like a Supersport, even though it doesn't quite have the top end power. Everything else about it is feeling like a Supersport bike. The tyres aren't even properly bedded in, so Chops, keep it sensible, sir. Suspension is KYB, so you know this is really the same suspension as what's on the Tuono, but this has a slightly less travel in the forks. Identical rear shock, KYB rear shock. It only has preload and dampening adjustments, so there's no full fat, fully adjustable suspension on this. The bike weighs 184 kilos wet, so it is nice and light. Proper Supersport light. You know, actually lighter than a lot of Supersports. It's a very, very light machine. It actually it doesn't feel massively light though. Tuono felt more agile and nimble. I know they brought the front wheel in on the Tuono to, you know, to reduce the rake, to waking it up. This is with the standard rake. It's a little bit more sedate at changing direction. You can't really, you know, you can, you know, it is a light bike, but as compared to Tuono, it feels a little bit heavier, a little bit more, definitely more stable feeling, but it just feels like a proper sports bike, an absolutely proper Supersport sports bike. Brilliant. Third gear, 2000 revs. Look at that for pull. Bloody marvellous, isn't it? Because it's an Aprilia, I love the shape of the Aprilia tank. You can really lock your legs under the tank, and if you do want to get out of the seat and just move around a little bit, it makes the bike feel very stable, and you feel very positive on it because you can just lock your leg in, take that weight with your outside leg. Look at the gravel in the road here, be a little bit careful there. But it's lovely in the bends. It gives loads of confidence, you know, and you're not going silly speeds. And the beauty of a 100 horsepower bike is you can wring its neck. Not that I am, I'm running it in obviously, but you can wring its neck without going to jail. You know, yes, you can still get done for speeding obviously, but you're getting, you know, you're revving it, you're getting the thrill of the revs, and you're not doing jail speeds as quickly. Obviously you will be in the end if you keep on doing that, but you've got, you know, you're not like the new Fireblade, 100 miles an hour in first gear. I saw 100 miles an hour in first gear on the new Fireblade, on a private track obviously. That's ridiculous. How can you ride that machine on the road? And it doesn't start kicking in until 8,000 revs, so even in first gear the power's not coming in till probably 60-70 miles an hour, so you cannot ride it fast without probably breaking the speed limit. Just to feel what that bike can give you, you've got to break the speed limit. Those bikes are just getting so, you know, so far. Let's flips over nicely there. I think the future is with these middleweights for the road. I absolutely do. You know, everywhere you go it's speed cameras these days. average speed cameras as well, so that really scuppers you. It's only these sorts of roads where you're free to have a bit of fun. It won't be much longer until you're getting average speed cameras through every little town, everywhere. You know, that's coming. And litre sports bikes in that environment are just pointless. Oh, what else to tell you about this absolutely stunning bike? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for the individual without the wheelie control on. Yeah, that's got the. I can tell straight away the individual map has been set with the more aggressive throttle response. I can tell that just by switching it on. You know, I can tell that's what they've done. Sounds amazing. The sound of it through the induction roar, it sounds very much like its RSV4 brother, like its big brother. It really does. It's definitely got that howl. It's got a howl. Yeah, not quite the same as a V4, but still absolutely beautiful. Oh, I don't think I can risk getting past this chap. You bugger. What high beams on? So electronics wise, it also has an IMU, so all of the traction control, the ABS is all lean sensitive, so you've got all of that extra security that if you're on the corner and you do have to slam the anchors on, the bike knows it's on its side, and it'll give you that extra support with the ABS. Let's talk about the boring stuff. Mirrors are a little bit vibey. There's a few little vibes in the mirrors when you're on the power. Vibrations from the bike, there's a few. It's a parallel twin, you know, a 270-degree crank parallel twin. The bikes do vibrate a little bit. It's not excessive, it's no worse than the Trident, the Africa twin. I always say this, you know, but there is a little bit of vibration, not buzzy. It's not buzzy like a straight 4 can be. It's just, you know, it's lower frequency than that. It's not irritating. That's the point. The throttle response is lovely. It's beautifully fueled. Aprilias normally are beautifully fueled. You know, the throttle grips themselves, there's no waggle in the throttle grip, there's no play in the grip, which I don't like. It's all very well, it feels very well screwed together. I'm surprised how good this suspension feels, because I thought looking at it, it was a bit budget and you're going to outride the suspension quite quickly, but I'm not so sure. Even me being an 18.5 stone, 6'2" fatty, it's fine. I think the weak point of the bike is the rear shock. So I think if you did want to upgrade the suspension, I think the rear shock would be the way to go, perhaps like a Nitron unit or something like that. But for me, I think maybe on the track you could run out of adjustment on that rear shock or bottom it out, you know, especially my weight. But here now feels absolutely fine. It's exceeded my expectations. When I saw this was announced, what was it, year before last? This was mentioned at the EICMA show and stuff. I thought, wow, that looks so good, so good. And then the launch came out and people rode it and they said, well, actually, you know, it's not a Supersport bike. It's dialed back a little bit. And I thought, oh, that is disappointing. But riding it now, it's exceeded expectations. Maybe my expectations were set lower a little bit because of that, but I don't think so. I think it is incredible. I absolutely love this, and I could see myself owning this. The problem with the Tuono, and I'm going to give you a little insight into that one, is it feels smaller than this. This doesn't look, you know, this looks as big as a litre sports bike does. This looks as big as its RSV4 brother. So being a bigger guy, these middleweights are sometimes just too small, and you just look silly riding them. They feel fine to ride, but you just look like a gorilla riding a pit bike, and they're just too small for us bigger guys. It's alright if you're a shorter, stubbier chap like that TMF fella, it's fine. But if you're a bit of a larger guy, a bit of girth to you, a bit of height to you, then they're really too small, and that's why I don't own a Street Triple RS or a Duke 890R, because they're too small for me. Whereas this, with the fairing, it looks as big. I still look too big on it, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel as silly riding this as what I do a little naked middleweight. This feels like it's a decent size. It feels more spacious to ride than the RS660. If I was riding a full-on Supersport, I'd be thinking about getting off and having a rest now because of the weight on your wrists. What's also really good of this is it's got cruise. Not only has it got that, it's also got bloody cruise control as well. Bang! So if you do get any weight on your wrists, then bang the cruise on. Have a little break, read a paper, get your phone out. Don't do that. What a bike! What a weapon! Actually, if I brought my wallet out with me, I might have forgotten my wallet. Luckily I've got 2 blobs of fuel because, yes, thank the Lord, it's got a fuel gauge. Let's turn that cruise control off because, good as it is, it flashes like you left your indicator on. That's the cruise control button. Why have they got to make that green? It's a bit ridiculous. Right, through town, I'm going to go into the commute mode. Yeah, that's much nicer in town. And you don't have to turn it off, you don't have to close the throttle, just change the map on the fly. No bother. Yeah, that's definitely softened it up now. That's nicer in town. I had it on the individual mode, which was the most aggressive throttle map. That is better. Better for town. Oh, you get out, love. Alright, let's just get some petrol. Let's see how big its hole is, because this is another criticism of the RS660 and Tuono. It's not got a very big hole. Neutral. Well, you can find neutral on the move. What's it like finding neutral when you stand still? Found it then. Neutral? Yeah, seems okay. Oh, have I got my wallet? Bingo! Oh, it's got a little hole. It's got a little hole in there. Makes it really difficult to fill. Move my card? What's wrong with my car? How's it like to fuel? Because it's got a little hole there. Oh, you can tuck it in though. Might be alright actually. Oh, it's full. It's got a 15 litre fuel tank, so a reasonable sized fuel tank as well for a smaller bike. Onwards. I can see a lot of people selling their litre bikes and going back to something like this. I don't think it is. It's going to go back to the individual mode. I don't think this is too much of a step down from your litre bikes. It doesn't give you a beginner feel, this bike. I think that people will downgrade, if you like, from their litre bikes to one of these. There's no reason. It has all the fun and thrills and performance, grip, feedback, excitement of a litre bike, but just in a more sensible package. I'm very impressed with this, I have to say. Right, let's go for a little walk round. What we'd do, we're going to Goodwood. Classic Goodwood. Oh, looks like there's something going on. Looks like some sort of event going on here. Shut for COVID. It's shut, Joe. I think it's shut. Well, there she is outside of the iconic Goodwood motor circuit. And how good does she look in that purple and red? I really like that colour scheme. I thought it was maybe, I wasn't sure at first, but I really like it. The colour is so purple, it's such a deep colour. It's yeah, it's really nice. I think they've done a really good job on the colour schemes. I mean, just Triumph, take note. Take note. That is how you colour a motorcycle. Fantastic, really brave, really bold, love it. We'll go through it quite quickly because if you watch my Tuono one, it's really much the same. But the front end is obviously very different. You've got a full fairing, you've got these little mini scoops at the side, which are nice. The KYBs are gold rather than black on the RS660. Let's turn it on so you can see those DRLs. They look nice. Integrated indicators, which is nice. Let me try and show you that again. There you go. So when you indicate, the DRL on the side you're indicating, it doesn't go right off completely, it just dims so you can see the indicators more. But yeah, it keeps the lines nice, keeps the indicators off it. I really like that. I don't know how they get on with the US versions because you're not allowed LED indicators in the US, are you? Turn the indicator off. The DL goes back to full brightness. There's that motor, fantastic 660cc beauty. The only things I don't like, it's a little bit plasticky here. This is all plastic. It would be great to have like a carbon, when obviously carbon fibre ones will come as people start producing them, but have that in carbon certainly. Also the side panels, I'd like to see those in carbon as well. This plasticky piece on the swinging arm would be nice in carbon as well. The bike has the same arrangement with the rear seat cowl, whereby there's a luggage rack underneath. Very clever. So you can see on this one, you can turn off the wheelie control independently of the traction control. You cannot do that on the Tuono. Trips, etc. Max speed 87, I want me. Fuel consumption. Fuel consumption. Average fuel consumption 57 miles per gallon. That ain't bad, is it? So there we go. A very, very quick look at the RS660. Looks beautiful. Like I say, doesn't look any smaller than a full-on litre sports bike in my eyes, really. Take the rear foot pegs off, rear seat cowl on it, tail tidy, obviously, and you're good to go. Absolutely beautiful. Right, let's jump back on. Hit it. Another thing I like it, if you're filtering, bang. Mirrors are really, really easy to fold up. If you go, you know, if you are using this to commute on, you've got the luggage rack, you know, it's got so much practicality about it. Luggage rack and foldable mirrors. Unbelievable. I don't think there's any heated grips though. It's got the cruise control of course, but I don't think there's no heated grips standard, certainly. I don't know if heated grips are an option. I don't know. Not normally on Aprilias. Not normally any heated grips, even as options. So could do with heated grips if you want to make this thing ultimately practical. So there we go guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves coming with me on a little spin on this machine. I've certainly enjoyed myself. This is incredible, and I've got to say a massive thank you to Wheels Motorcycles for lending me this. This is their demo, so they've got a demo, they've got this demo, they've also got a demo of the Tuono 660, not at the moment because they're both at my house, but they will be back with Wheels very soon, so give them a ring, book yourself a test ride. I'm not sure when they open again fully, but when you can actually walk into a dealership and look at bikes, you've got to make appointments, but you can ride them, you can demo them, so reach out to Wheels, get yourself a ride, and let me know what you think to these. Ride both, see which one you prefer, and let me know. Well, there we go guys, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers. Power level 1, which is full power. It's there, boy. I could do that all day.
What have you done here? I told you I was scared back there.
I've never dropped a bike before in my life. Oh! Backfire! That's it! That's it! Listen to this. Never mind getting beat up. Give me this any day of the week.